Hey there, Mom. It's been a while since we last spoke, hasn't it? How have you been? I hope everything has been alright with you. But given that you're living by yourself, all alone, I really doubt that you're doing, all good for yourself. Wait, Lisa, I haven't heard from you in forever. Why are you suddenly messaging me now? I mean, I don't think that we've talked for almost 10 years now. Is that all you have to say to your daughter after all these years? I know exactly how long it's been since we spoke. You don't have to remind me. But I would have guessed you would have been a bit more emotional with your response after your daughter reaches out to you after 10 years. Well, if you were a nice girl and a better daughter, I might have been a bit more touched. But you were the person who kicked me out of the house all those years ago, after all. So I guess it's more than fair to say that I'm not really happy to hear from you at all. Oh, is that really any way to talk to your only daughter? Especially when I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to be getting married. But if you're just going to be a jerk to me, then I guess I won't tell you anything more about it, so... Wait a second, you're going to be getting married? Is that really true? Haha, I knew that would hook you in. But yes, it's true. My boyfriend finally proposed to me, so we're going to be getting married soon. I just thought that you might like to know. That's why I reached out to you like this. But I have to say that I am so disappointed at this terrible attitude that you've taken towards me, Mother. So you're really getting married, huh? You're not lying to me, are you? There's no tricks or other hidden ulterior motives you got going on, do you? What is that supposed to mean? Of course I'm getting married. Why would I be lying about that? I'm your daughter, and I'm trying to tell you that I'm getting married, and you think that I'm lying about it. You are supposed to be happy for me, Mom. You should really try to be a better person, like Daddy. He loves me with all of his heart, and I know that he would do anything for me. He was so over the moon when he heard that I was getting married. And my fiancé is the most amazing man in the world. We're going to get married, and then I'm going to be the happiest girl in all of the town. You really think that I should be more like your father? You do remember that he cheated on me, don't you? Ugh, are you still hung up on that old thing? Just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it didn't happen. It's a fact that your dad is a cheater. He left me, his wife, for a much younger woman, and that's why we got divorced in the first place. I still don't see how you can take his side in anything after he did that to me. In fact, you took it much farther than that, didn't you? You got so fed up with me that you threw me out of my own house. Well, my boyfriend isn't going to cheat on me, okay? Honestly, I can't believe you're just bringing up the past when I'm trying to tell you about my future. But I seriously can't believe that you're still hung up on that. You seriously need to learn to let things go, or you'll never be able to grow as a person. Are you seriously saying that it's my fault that you kicked me out of the house? You can't be serious, right? You have no idea how hard I worked for you and your father, how much effort I poured into taking care of you two. But even so, your father stabbed me in the back and my own daughter cast me out of my house. Are you serious? Are you really trying to say that you were even doing that much for us? The only one who was ever working hard for us was Daddy. It's always been Daddy. He was the one going to work every single day to make sure that we had food on our table and a roof over our head. Are you really trying to compare yourself to that? All you did was lie around the house doing nothing all day. Who are you trying to fool here? You have got to be kidding me, right? Not only that, but you were so mean and strict with me every single day. You weren't even a good housewife. You were just a loafer. And you didn't work or do anything to contribute to the house at all. All you did was abuse your power over me, your poor innocent daughter. Okay, this is just getting ridiculous. You do realize that your father was constantly using his job as an excuse to avoid anything to do with raising you, right? And just what is that supposed to mean? You expect me to believe that? Of course I do. And then he would come home and scream at me if there was anything that he thought wasn't clean enough for him in the house. And when you were little and would catch a cold, he would accuse me of being the one that got you sick. And he would do that same thing when you did poorly on tests too. Every little thing that went wrong, he would blame me for every single thing. But he was also fawning over and doting on you and would never find any fault in anything you did. Instead, he just put all the blame on me and never took any responsibility for himself, much less make you take responsibility for your actions. And just what's so wrong about that, huh? You weren't working, you were a housewife. Your only jobs are to keep the house clean and make sure that I was raised well. So of course Dad would get upset with you if you were just totally failing to do those basic things. I can't believe you refuse to see my side in all of this. Well, that's because I know you're dead wrong and I never want to be like you. When I get married, I'm going to be the perfect housewife. I'll make sure the house is always spotless and raise my children to be angels without ever having to scold them like you did to me. Well, if you think it's that easy, then you really ought to give it a shot yourself. But I don't think you're going to find that any child is ever a perfect angel all the time. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Hey there, Marge. I hear from Lisa you're doing pretty well these days.
I'm doing fine, thank you very much. But what do you want, Why are you messaging me? If you don't have anything to say to me, I'd appreciate it if you leave me alone.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where is all this anger coming from? I mean, your ex-husband reaches out after 10 years and this is how you greet him? What's the matter with you? I thought that you might have been more willing to talk to me. I thought that you were going to be happy to hear from me.
You are really just like your daughter, ain't you? Just why do you think I would ever want to hear from you again? Do you think that I'd forgotten all about how you betrayed me 10 years ago?
But that's so far in the past. You can't really still be mad about that, right? You need to learn to let things go. Besides, I already told you that the only reason I did cheat on you was because I was getting so stressed out from my job. And it was only one time. You didn't need to go so far to divorce me. And I think if you're still mad about it, then that's your problem.
You think just because you said you were sorry that it means I have to forgive you? Look, Mo, I really don't want to do this. Can you just please go back to leaving me alone?
Wait, Marge, please. The whole reason I reached out to you was because I have something really important to tell you.
What is it? Is it Lisa's wedding? Because if it is, I already know about it. But you can go on ahead and celebrate at her wedding because I ain't going.
But that's actually exactly what I want to talk to you about. You see, I was wondering if you wanted to come to the wedding with me. We could be husband and wife again, and be there for our daughter on her big day. Doesn't that sound amazing?
Is that supposed to be some kind of a joke?
Of course it's not a joke. I'm asking you if you want to get back together with me. I mean, once our little girl gets married, she's going to move out, and then I'll be all alone. You don't want me to be alone, do you? Surely you must have no one else and be looking for someone to get with, right? You've also been single ever since we split up, right? That's why this is the perfect chance for you and I to get back together. We can go back to the way things were.
Now I know you're joking because there is no way I would ever want to marry you again.
It's not a joke. I'm being serious, Marge. Come back here and live with me again. I still haven't forgotten what an amazing cook you are. And I really miss you waking up early to iron all my clothes so that they're ready for me when I got to work. Not to mention having a spotless house like you always kept it.
It just sounds to me like you're looking for a maid rather than a wife.
Surely you must be sick of having to work a job for these past 10 years, right? But if we got back together, then you could quit your job and go back to being a housewife. It would be perfect. You know deep down this is really what you want, right?
Of course, this isn't what I want. And I'll have you know that I very much enjoy my job, thank you very much. And more than that, I am very happy with my current husband. Why do you think I would ever take back someone who cheated on me? If you really thought that there was ever a chance that I would say yes, then you would really need to get your head checked.
Hold on a second. What do you mean your current husband? Are you telling me that you've gotten remarried?
That's right. We've been married for about 3 years, in fact. He was introduced to me by my boss. He's a lovely man, and it didn't take long for us to start dating. He's nice and caring, and he would never, ever cheat on me. Basically, he's everything that you never were and could be for me.
No way, that can't be. There is no way that a man can be all those things at one. Men are just built to cheat. It's in our DNA. You're just being tricked by him, and you haven't realized it yet.
And just what makes you think you can speak for every man on the planet?
Because I am a man, and I know that we're all cheaters deep down in our hearts. But that's why you don't have to worry about me. I've already gotten the cheating out of my system. So you can be sure that I'm a safe bet now.
Just because you realize what a terrible person you are doesn't mean that all men are like that. Anyways, if that's all you have to say to me, I'll be taking my leave now. If you want a wife who does all those things you were talking about earlier, I'd recommend just hiring a maid. Hey, Lisa, I saw that you had called me a few times. Is there something that you wanted to talk to me about? If it's about your wedding, I've already given your dad my answer to that. Oh, I just wanted to let you know that our wedding plans were moving along smoothly. My fiancé is much more wealthy than I ever thought he was. His family is really rich and powerful, and anyways, we're going to be having the most spectacular wedding anyone has ever seen. I see. Well, good for you two, I suppose. But that's why you have to be there to see it. I know that you might still be mad at me for the things that happened in the past, but I just know that seeing me getting married at my amazing wedding is going to make you even more pissed off. I just want to see that look on your face when you realize how well off I'm doing now. Oh, is that the only reason why you want me to be there at your wedding? Of course, it's going to be amazing. We're going to have the whole event catered by one of the best restaurants in town, and I probably paid more for my wedding dress than you make in your whole life. The whole thing is going to cost a fortune, $100,000, and the best part of it all is my fiance's family is going to pay for everything. Wow, that sounds like a very expensive wedding. I can see why you're so set on trying to show it off to everyone you can. That's right, and don't ask me why, but for some reason, Daddy really wants you to be there. And since you're single, that probably means that you have loads of free time on your hands. So I think you should just swallow your pride and marry Daddy again. Then you two can come to the wedding and everything will be a happy fairy tale ending. I told you, your father and I already discussed this. Maybe you should ask him what I said when he invited me. Oh, come on. This wedding is going to be the event of the century. There are going to be famous rich people and great food, and I'm being kind enough to extend an invitation to you. Well, if you must know, I've already been invited to your wedding, and I've already got an invitation. What are you talking about? Daddy never sent you a proper invitation, did he? He didn't, but you don't need to trouble yourself by sending me one either. If you must know, however, I got my invitation from your fiancé. My fiancé invited you to our wedding? What is that supposed to mean? I never heard him say anything about inviting you. I mean, I told him all about how you and I haven't really talked at all since the divorce. Oh yes, I think that Ralph doesn't actually know yet that I'm your mother. You see, he's only inviting me because I'm his boss. Him and I get along quite well, so I think he was just being kind enough to invite me to his wedding. Hold on a second. You're his boss? I'm so lost right now. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Your Ralph and I work at the same company, and I'm his supervisor for his branch, which makes me his boss. Are you following along now? But I didn't know any of this. I know, it really is a small world after all, isn't it? But when I looked over the invitation that he gave me, I realized that the bride-to-be was in fact you. The timing seemed right, and I even asked him to show me a picture of his fiancée just to double check. Wait, no, this can't be right. You have to be lying to me. There's no way that you and Ralph work for the same company. He works for one of the most powerful companies in the country. But you're telling me that not only do you also work there, but you're his boss? This doesn't make any sense. You were nothing but a housewife 10 years ago. How did you get that high in the company? You are so right about that. It was very difficult to get my foot in the door anywhere after the divorce. But it wasn't impossible, and I was finally given a chance after a long and hard search for a job. And I worked hard and put in the extra effort, built my skills, transferred to another company, and then finally landed the position I have now. But does stuff like that really happen? Well, I suppose I actually do have to thank your father for something. After all, he didn't do anything but leave the housework to me and the child rearing, of course, and then I might have learned some skills like how to multitask. And compared to raising a spoiled brat like you, training the new employee is like a walk in the park. It's like I was training for this job my whole married life. No, this can't be true. You have to be lying to me. There's no way that you're my fiance's boss. Ralph is always talking about how lucky he is and how he has such a good boss, and now you're telling me that it's been you the whole time? You know, he even sends me gifts on Christmas and my birthday. Oh, bless his heart. Oh, you are kidding me. I'm not kidding at all. And Ralph also told me that I could bring along my husband if I wanted to, so that's just what I'm planning to do. So you can look forward to meeting my new husband at your wedding. Isn't that great? Hold on a second. New husband? You're married? That's right, and I couldn't be more happier with my new husband. In fact, even Ralph is good friends with him. They go fishing on the weekend all the time. You mean to tell me that Ralph's fishing buddy, the one he talks about all the time, is really your husband? It appears so. And Ralph really is so kind. He's always going on about what a cute couple he thinks my husband and I make, that he's so eager to have us be there for him on his big day. So anyways, I guess I'll see you there.
Marge, I want you to divorce that loser right this second. He's trying to start beef with me and I'm not going to stand for it. When are you going to realize that the only man who can make you happy in this world is me?
I really don't think he's trying to start anything with you at all. I think that if anyone is trying to start anything, it's you.
Well, then why would this guy marry someone like you who already has been divorced? Is he just really bad at flirting, so he just settled for you because he couldn't get anyone else?
Did you really just fix your mouth and say that to me, Mo?
But that still wouldn't explain why this jerk is looking down on me. How dare he steal my ex-wife from me? He should have gone out looking for a younger woman like all real men do. Instead, he peeved on some other guy's leftovers. Well, I'm not going to stand for that kind of ridiculous behavior.
Okay, Mo, you really need to stop behaving this way. You look so ignorant right now. You are just a pathetic little man, aren't you?
What did you just call me? All I'm trying to do is take my woman back from this jerk. You think I'm gonna roll over and let this guy beat me? If I can't have you, then I'll just find someone younger again. There are plenty of new hires that I can get to fall in love with me.
I seriously doubt that any poor young woman is gonna fall in love with a big old jerk like you, Mo. You really haven't changed at all these past 10 years. How pathetic.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
It means that after seeing how you're behaving at this wedding, I'm sure that no one is ever gonna want to marry a sorry piece of man like you.
Wait, Marge, please. You have to reconsider. You really want me to live the rest of my life all alone? I won't be able to make it by myself.
What are you talking about? You're not alone. You have your daughter with you. You know how much Lisa loves you. I'm sure that she would be more than happy to take care of you in your old age. Maybe you could even move in with her and Ralph.
I already tried asking her about that and she shut me down. That's why I have no other choice but to get back together with you, get it?
Oh, she turned you down.
She did! So I have to get back with you. I don't have any other choice. But then you showed up at the wedding with your stupid new husband. That when I went to Lisa to talk to her about what she would do for my future, and she told me and begged her not to abandon me. But she told me that I wouldn't be allowed to live with them, and that they were never going to send me any money. Every little request I made her, she totally shot it down.
Wow. Oh, that sounds tough.
She said that if her fiancé knew that I was begging for money, that I would just humiliate her. Then she told me that she probably isn't even going to visit me at home because she'll be too busy being a housewife to have time to do that.
You know, now that I think about it, I didn't really have time to visit my parents after I got married to you. You told me that I had to put you and Lisa ahead of my own family.
'Cause it wouldn't be fair. If I have to be at work all day, then you shouldn't be allowed to leave the home all day.
Well, I hope that you put aside some money for your retirement, because it sounds to me like you're going to need plenty of it now that you're on your own. Oh no, what am I gonna do? This is completely all your fault. You ruined my wedding. What are you talking about? I thought your wedding was yesterday and it went off without a hitch. It might have looked like that on the surface, but Ralph took me aside and told me that he wasn't going to marry me after all. I was so terribly upset yesterday, you have no idea. He really said that he wasn't going to marry you. Don't act surprised. This is all your fault. You told him all about me and how you and Dad divorced because he cheated on you. And then you told him about how I blamed you for all of it and chased you out of the house. He told me that's why he wasn't going to marry me anymore. I wasn't saying any of those things to try and be mean and get revenge on you, okay? We just kind of got to talking before the wedding, and it slipped out of my mouth before he even knew, and I knew that I was the mother of the conversation. You completely ruined any interest he had in me before, and on the day of my wedding too? Do you have any idea how humiliated I am right now? He agreed to go through with the farce of the wedding, but he said he would never sign anything that would legally bound us together. We were supposed to go to the courthouse today to finalize everything, but instead he called me to tell me that we were over. And to think you were this close to marrying into a rich family to have your happily ever after. You must be kicking yourself for losing such an opportunity. Don't talk to me like that when this is all your fault. In your heart, you know that you did all this to yourself, Lisa. I only told him the things that happened. It's not like I lied or even went out of my way to say those things. Oh, just shut up already and do something to help me. And just what could I do for you? Well, you can talk to him and tell him to take me back. Or order him to marry me. Please, I'm your daughter. You have to help me. Stop saying all this nonsense right now, Lisa. Stop acting like I'm your mother when it's convenient for you. I stopped being your mother 10 years ago. You don't get to decide that I'm suddenly part of your life again. I'm not your mother, and you're not my daughter, and that's that. Now please, never contact me again. Wait, no, please, you can't do this to me. You can't just abandon me like this. I'm your only daughter. You ruined my wedding day. Well then, I guess this will give you enough time to think long and hard about whose fault this really is, and hopefully change your character. Now goodbye, Lisa. After that, I heard from Ralph himself that what Lisa had told was true, and that the two of them were in fact no longer getting married. I apologized to Ralph as I felt like I really had a role in all of this happening, but he told me that I had nothing to apologize for, and instead he thanked me for showing him a side of Lisa and her father that he had no idea about until then. And he's such a kind and sweet young man, bless his heart. I truly feel lucky to have him in my staff. Afterwards, Lisa tried to go back to live with Mo, but he turned her away, of course. He told her that he would never take her back after what she did in revealing her true colors, to abandon her own father. I hear that Lisa was finally able to convince her father to let her stay with him again, but I can't imagine it's a comfortable living situation.